Yo, 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 yo. Big kids back up in here. They fighting. They fighting. They standing up. If you don't know who this man is right here, this is Mad Skills, man. This is the guy who do the end of the year wrap-ups before Uncle Murder had took over it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Hey, look, people are rising. What happened is when Dot did that performance, it rose the people vibration. And everybody's just happy. You understand? And we about to be happy with them. You know what I mean? We about to react to these TikToks, this TikTok collage. And y'all, I'm going to leave a link in the description. Y'all know I like holding y'all. Without further ado, let's get it.
Why do you think Not Like Us resonated the way it did?
I think because in our culture, we have a lot of people who might influence, who might come into our culture, and we know from jump they really not like us. But we different. We control cool, and it ain't cool until we do it. So that's just the vibe, man. I think that's why it stuck with.
The Bible say we the salt of the earth. We got the flavor, baby.
People the way it did.
Kudos to Kendrick Lamar. I don't care what anyone says. I personally did not think he was going to perform They Not Like Us. And I saw that little smirk that you did, Kendrick, before you started to really get into the song. But I had to come on here because I know my timeline is about to be crazy. But y'all, this was never meant to be like Prince, Rihanna, Beyonce, Lady Gaga. It was never meant to be that type of show at all. It was not. And for the people who don't understand, this was something we have never seen before. When that man said, first of all, and all of first, when he had Samuel L. Jackson come on as Uncle Sam. And then when he said the revolution is going to be televised. Like, this was a message. This was unapologetically black in its most beautiful form.
Bro, shout out to the woke sisters out there, man. Shout out to the woke sisters, man.
It is not everyone's cup of tea. It's not everyone's cup of Hennessy, and that's fine. But please remember, this was never meant to be along the lines of Prince or Beyonce, meaning it was never meant to be a performance.
This wasn't no shiny suit, Puff Daddy, glitter and feathers with the horse and carrots. This wasn't that. This wasn't that. This was ashy knees, ashy ankles, ashy elbows. You know what I'm saying?
I genuinely feel like this was meant to be a message. This was something, like, my mind is almost kind of blown because you just typically do not see this. And kudos, Kendrick Lamar. I know he probably ain't gonna see it, but his cousin's baby mama's second nephew, twice removed uncle may see this. Someone tell Kendrick Lamar kudos, because that was a powerful show he put on. And I'm not even gonna sit up here and act like I know all his music. I don't. But I know a message when I see one. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was a message. Some people will get it, some people won't. But that was never meant to be, you know, this amazing, oh my God, so entertaining halftime performance. It was never even meant to be that. And I love that he stayed true.
That Super Bowl halftime performance was meant for you to have your pen and your paper and your notebook out. That's what that was for. Your calculator with your ruler and all of that. That's what that was for.
True to who he is in that show.
Kendrick's entire performance was poetry. Everything from the way that he started the performance to the way that he ended it. He started it alone. He ended it with an army of people. And then everything in between was the story of how he got from one point to another. For the triangle, the circle, the X, and the rectangle, it was all like, it was a game console. He was playing the game. But in the same way that in this system, we are the lives that they are playing with. They are trying to control us. Performance started off with very distinct groups. In the first group, they were all on the rectangle. And the more that he moved from one area to another, he was gathering more and more people. And every time he was gathering more people, there was, like, you know, the flashing of the lights, and people would kind of like, they would run. It was an attempt to assemble, and then of course it was unsuccessful, and so the people scattered. Then he went into the X, and 3 out of the 4 points of the X, there were people in there, but they weren't together. They were divided until he came in, and then he was able to, like, bring them all together and bring them out of the X. And those people that were there, they're mostly like dressed in white and they had their faces covered. Haven't fully flushed that part out. And then he went to where? He went to the Triangle to meet Solana, SZA. But on the way there, did you guys see how he had a line of women behind him and they were kind of just like strutting, but the way that they were moving was like a snake charmer. It's almost like it's supposed to be the part where we are captivated, we are entranced, it's alluring, it's like putting us into a spell almost, to kind of be like, look over here, don't look over there. And it was exactly
I ain't put that together, that it was a serpent. You know what I'm saying? Don't go over there, go over there. I gotta look at that again. See, that's the type of halftime show you gotta watch over and over. When them people see the numbers, I'm telling you, they gonna ask for Kendrick back. They gonna say, hey, little Mr. Lamar, can you please come back to do the Super Bowl halftime performance? We'll pay you double. Okay, triple? Okay, quadruple. All right, okay. We got him. Telling you, man. Hey, Dot, let me hold $5, man.
Exactly that. She did exactly what she was supposed to do. They were moving like a snake. And then once you pan out, you saw all these people. Where did those people come from? And then he came on to the middle of the circle, him and Solana, of course, and they were singing All of the Stars. And that in and of itself has a lot of imagery for us to, draw from. The beginning of All the Stars was very army-like. It was almost like an assembly line, the way that everybody was like walking in uniform. They were organized and they were moving as one body, very fluid. You saw more and more people coming from, different directions, and they were flooding the console. They were taking over the game. They were no longer being controlled by the game. And I also love that in the beginning, I would like to think when they were coming out of the car, it was a lot of the men were red, white, and blue. They were quite disorganized, and you could say that they were still divided. But when the women came out of the car, you could see like they were having conversations behind him, and they quickly assembled and they got into gear. They were able to organize very quickly and become like one unified body. I truly believe that was Kendrick's like nod to Black women and how they're often on the front lines of this type of work, and this was him.
Dot gonna make sure he protect our sisters, man. You see what he did to Schultz. Y'all understand? We don't even hear Schultz's name no more, man. He up there trying to do breakdowns now with Charlemagne, bruh. Man, you out of here. I told you he was gonna last like 2 weeks. Told you Schultz was gonna last like 2 weeks. He's out of there. Ain't nobody saying nothing about Schultz no more. And that's how we gonna do the Hennessy Man as well. That's why I don't do no more Hennessy Man videos. No more Hennessy Man videos at all. Don't even mention his name.
Acknowledging that the men came out first. They came out first and they came out loud, and they took up space, but they weren't organized, they weren't unified, they were they were still divided. They were white, red, and blue, whereas the women, they all came out as red. And that's why I say Kendrick Lamar's performance was absolutely poetry, because from beginning to an end it told a story. Even with Samuel L. Jackson being Uncle Sam, of course it's very obvious, and him saying deduct one life. It can't get any more clear than that. It's like he's spelling it out for us so that we could understand. All it takes is one individual to wake up and question the system and say, actually, why do I have to? Why do I have to play this game? And then slowly you see that everybody else starts to also start questioning. I actually wrote a poem about this. But people start also, questioning the system. Why are we doing this? And soon you realize that one voice, that one person, Kendrick, in this performance, was later able to create an army of people just because he spoke out. But it's a direct representation of our life. The system makes us feel like we have no autonomy, that we have no power as an individual, and they want to keep us divided. But the minute that we realize that we as individuals have power, game over.
Now look, I'm not here to tell Matt Gaetz what to tweet or what not to tweet, but this is what he chose to post during the Super Bowl halftime show. The halftime show you just watched is clearly the regime's response to Trump's historic gains with Black men. The halftime show featured Kendrick Lamar, whose famous line in a song is a minor. If you're Matt Gaetz, I would probably sit this one out.
Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance
Who's Matt Gaetz? Who's Matt Gaetz?
addresses respectability politics in the way that America views Black culture. First, let's start by looking at Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam interrupts Kendrick Lamar every few songs. The first couple of songs are seen as too rowdy or too this or too that. Essentially, this is what the raw, unfiltered version of black culture looks like. Those songs represent a form of untamed blackness. And you have Uncle Sam encouraging Kendrick Lamar to play the game. I specifically want to point out Man at the Garden because one lyric in there that I feel like perfectly encapsulates his performance is, do you want the famous me or the dangerous me?
That's my joint.
His softer songs like All the Stars get Uncle Sam's approval.
Just wait and see, more bullet be spilling, it just paint to me. I'm crashing out right now, nobody's safe for me. Ah! Cook, girl, all that Vaseline on your face. Go ahead with that Vaseline on your face. That's right.
This softer, more relaxed song that still was very impactful, especially because it was in Black Panther and it meant something to black people, was still not as not as aggressive as his songs like.
Hey, that's what Sister did back in the day before they got in the fight. They put a bunch of Vaseline on their face so you don't scratch their face. She ain't gonna scratch my face. Guess they got that from the boxers.
All right, or Not Like Us. So essentially, Kendrick Lamar playing the game is really supposed to be staying within the lines of what America deems to be an acceptable version of blackness. Not even just Kendrick Lamar, but all of us. Whether you're in the art world or the corporate world, we all know what it's like to have to suppress certain aspects of our black identity just to be successful or just to be accepted. Which is why the you want the famous me or the dangerous me line is so significant, because the famous Kendrick Lamar is the widely accepted version of Kendrick Lamar, the one that's seen as non-threatening. But the dangerous him is when he's creating songs that represent blackness in its rawest form, but is seen as a threat. But Kendrick Lamar teasing Not Like Us and then finally deciding to play it is basically him being like, look, I don't care what y'all say. I don't care what restrictions y'all try to put me under. I'm going to show black culture as it is. I'm going to represent it as it is. And I'm not going to fall in line with whatever y'all want me to do. And him saying, oh, the revolution is going to be televised this time is really a hit at the relationship between the media and politics, specifically when it comes to black people, because we know how frequently they try to suppress or censor certain things and how they also expect you to fall in line with what they deem to be acceptable. But Kendrick Lamar choosing to display blackness authentically and in an untamed manner is a revolutionary act, which is also why he decides to
He said it in the interview. He said, I can't do nothing else. I gotta be me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta be me. Can't be nothing else.
With TV off, because a lot of people don't want to see that on their screens. But I also want to point out the fact that a lot of his dancers, specifically the ones that made up the formation of the American flag, were black. Uncle Sam was also black. This is because black people have influenced American culture, which that idea also reminded me of Cowboy Carter. But America also loves certain aspects of black culture, especially the parts that they can monetize. So as much as they try to police black culture, they still love the parts of it that they deem to be acceptable and often find themselves trying to be immersed in black culture. Now, what exactly sparked this? I have been trying to figure out, but I think it could be a few things. Not a lot of people know this, which it happened kind of late, so I'm thinking this performance was already made up before then, but a group of Louisiana Republicans actually got together and wrote a letter saying, hey, we hope the Super Bowl is really family friendly this year. You know, we have some kind of controversial performances and we just wouldn't want that now, would we? But I also think him writing Not Like Us was not only an eye-opener for us, but an eye-opener for himself as well, when he realized that Drake can really just dibble and dabble in black culture however he want and not have to deal with the people saying like, oh, this is too much, this is this is that, just like all culture vultures do. So while I do think his pushback at respectability politics was in a way specific to the music industry, I still believe that it's an idea that can be applied to everyday life and the everyday experience of black people.
Apparently, I got to realize like this is the first time a ruling president of the US to attend the Super Bowl. And I'm like, oh really? Because I thought it was like a big thing in America, but the fact that he's the first president to attend, quite interesting. And then he attends.
And they booed him too. You don't see that too many places. Hey look, they ain't gonna have that nowhere. Him getting booed. Man, that was booing the hell out of Donald Trump. Boo, he talking about something. What's going on? What's going on?
Sam wasn't random. Kendrick was setting the stage to call out America's system. The show was a masterclass of symbolism. Sam
I mean, in the time of Black History Month,
See what he talking about. See what he talking about.
You can't even make this up. Like this was the time for it. This was the time for it.
Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show was a masterclass of symbolism. Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam wasn't random. Kendrick was setting the stage to call out America's system. Then he says the revolution is about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy. A direct nod to Gil Scott-Heron, telling us that change is coming. Then the dancers moving counterclockwise showed time reversing, undoing the system. Then they form an American flag during Humble, exposing the nation's contradictions. And Kendrick performing Not Like Us, a Drake diss right in front of Trump, that wasn't just about Drake. It was a message to those in power who manipulate and divide. Then,
do people be reading while they talking to the camera? Y'all let me know. I'm missing out on something. Am I missing out?
game over being displayed wasn't the end of the show. That was Kendrick saying that the old system is done.
How much you want to bet after Kendrick's performance, you're going to see a flux of white people in the comment section talking about it's the worst performance in history because you saw a bunch of black guys with locks on stage. How much you want to bet?
Sucklers, where are you? Did y'all not tune into the Super Bowl? Did you not think that was propagandist? The red, white, and blue? The fact that he did it in front of the president? The fact that the message was very clear? Y'all don't think that was propaganda? What happened? Where y'all at? Getting the perm? Where are the videos at? Quickly!
What kills me, though, is y'all are never impressed by anything. You didn't like Kendrick's halftime show. You didn't like Usher's last year. You didn't like Rihanna's the year before. You didn't like your West Coast one before. You didn't like the week. Y'all don't like anything.
Oh, yeah, but 9 times out of...
They don't like us. For anybody that don't understand, there's a lot of people that don't like us.
Tomorrow morning, it will be a whole controversy going on because it was too ghetto. It was too black. Even though he had motherfuckers in red, white, and blue, they're still gonna find a way to make it seem like he was disrespecting American culture. Girl, fuck y'all and fuck American culture. I don't give a fuck. We only care about black culture over here, bitch. Oh wait, I got a better word instead of saying too ghetto, too black, too woke. Yeah. It was just too woke. Especially if you peep, they threw up the black power fist. Oh yeah. Girl, it's gonna be...
Girl. Why is he saying girl? Is that a new thing? That's what dudes doing now? Girl, nah, I can't rock with that. Can't rock with that. But the people is waking up though, and I'm happy for it. We needed this. And I'm not gonna take my foot off of nobody's neck. If you're walking around, you see police officer, they got their little badge and they got their little, person with the Indian on the ground. Or the person on the ground and they got their foot on their neck, right? When you go in the courtroom, they got that picture everywhere, right? So they let you know, okay, we up now, so don't take your foot off the neck, all right? Yeah, you gotta keep this going, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think of the video. I'm gonna leave a link in the description. Big Kiss signing out, gone.